All right, we're live for the third time. We are making calls again today. Shane is on the horn or getting on the horn here in a second. We cannot figure his mic out, so if I sit in silence, it's probably because he is on a phone call, and maybe I can narrate while he's on the call. I'll mute myself on the Google Meet, and then I can talk to you guys and let you know what's happening. Okay. So we're calling. Are you going to call this one, Shane? Do it, do it, do it, do it, do multifamily? Oh man, that's been on for a while. Sweet. So there's a reverse mortgage on this one. Um, so you can take off the underlying mortgage. Um, no, it was fine because you kept asking questions, and then um, you kept the conversation going with him, especially when he started opening up more, just like trying to keep asking and pushing. But the question that popped in my mind was, is how livable is this right now? Because if let's just say it needs to be owner occupied, right? Well, what do I need to do to make it livable right now? Does the furnace work? Does the heat work? Is there air conditioning? Is there running water? Like the appliances, doesn't need new electrical? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I pick this up and fix it, well, you know, in he said in a few years it could be in the 700s. So it's like, okay, with that amount of land, that size of a house, I think it could be worth even more fixed up. But um, my initial thought is, what if I bought this? And I always go back to the DSCR loan because it's such a great way to get into properties for investors without needing to prove income. Would this qualify for a DSCR? If so, how much would this rent for, do you think? So those are the questions I would have asked him. How livable is it? How like rent ready or livable, basically the same thing. And what do you think rents are? So those are the only two things that I would want more information on. Obviously, we could figure out rent markets, but it's just like, if we don't have to go look and he knows that information, we might as well just get it from him. Um, Dude, it is a cool house, brick house. But dude, all that wood is so cool in the mantle. Those glass doors right there, those like French doors that open the living room to the dining room, are awesome. Well, this can't be the main kitchen, right? Yeah, so that's another question I would ask. Like, hey, this the roof. He doesn't want to be held liable. There's all these stupid freaking rules of misrepresenting a property as a realtor and promising things, and then someone can take legal action against you, like if they bought it and then they don't get those credits. So he's just trying to protect himself. Yeah. Crazy. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna call. I have this one from yesterday. I'm gonna call. No, you're fine. That's a freaking cool house, dude. Um. Okay, let's call this lady. You're good. I can't hear you anyway. So, oh well. I guess on the phone call, huh? uh, Next time when you're on this, I'm gonna try and text. I'll text you while you're on a call for questions, and then if you can just look down, that might help you. Um, but I didn't even have the chat open. I was like trying to find it. So.
Hello, you've reached Stephanie McDaniel with Century 21 Portfolio Real Estate. You can leave me a message and I will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hey, Stephanie, this is Jordan Wheeler. I just came across your listing there on Liberty Street. If you could give me a call back or text me, I'll send you a text message as well. Would love to chat about this house. Thanks. Hey, Stephanie, this is Jordan Wheeler. Just left you a voicemail on your listing on Liberty Street. Give me a call or text me when you get a chance. Thanks. All right, on to the next one. You got one, Shane? You're right. I'm going to call this other one on Marriottsville.
Hi, this is Joel.
Hey, Joel, it's Jordan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I was just calling about that listing you've got there on 700 South in Marriott Slaterville.
Yeah, what can I help you with?
Yeah, what's been the feedback on it so far?
It's pink. It needs to be painted. Yeah.
You guys had many showings on it, or?
Yeah, we've had a lot of showings. I have a seller that hasn't wanted to budge on price. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
got her to. She's to the point now where I could probably, she did a price reduction for a little bit, but as rates started to improve, she wanted to bump the price back up.
Okay.
I think there's obviously wiggle room there, but not a lot. So
yeah,
she feels like with the size of her land and some other things that eventually she'll get her price. So.
Yeah, because it's 0.42 acres. It's a little outdated. Like probably, if you wanted to do a full rehab, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Whether it would be a good rental or a flip. Because the cabinets are outdated. It's kind of weird because that it's like it looks into that other room, but then you got the counter and there's space in between there. Can you actually walk through that little tiny space? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Between the dining room and the kitchen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like an elbow kitchen. You can definitely if I were to, if you were to do a rehab on it, the wall between the living room and the kitchen dining room, I'd take that wall out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think it's got a fresh air return in there, so that would just go into the floor, but it's not load bearing.
Okay.
And then when you take that out, you just kind of have an open concept with with the current cabinetry in there. It's divided by the up hanging cabinets and the countertop.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see on this other picture. That's a bigger space to walk through than I thought.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that is funky.
they're not. They're outdated. They're in great shape. I don't know
if you could resurface them or repaint them and put new hardware on. But
yeah, they look good in person. That's probably one of the better rooms in the house. It's got hardwood floors, like brand new, never touched hardwood floors in the original part of the house, which is the living room and the 2 bedrooms. They just slapped carpet right on top of it, so that's something you might be able to use.
What do you happen to know? I haven't even ran numbers on it. What the ARV would be like if I came in and remodeled the whole thing? What something like this could resell for?
Well, I haven't ran numbers since I listed it, so like last September, I think, or October, and it was like 460, 475 if it was like in good shape. Yeah, if it was up to date. So
yeah,
I think
with her on that price, that'd be hard because obviously if it needs, I don't know, even 50 grand, like the margins just aren't there for a flip.
I mean, it kind of depends. I guess it would depend on. I've had a couple guys go in there trying to figure out if they could make money on a flip. So, yeah. I mean, you got the big yard, you got the big garage. Those are some draws, right? But
did they make it? Did they make an offer on it, or what? What did they say?
I had a guy that was. I mean, we were good to go, and he lost his financing or something. I don't know. Like so we had a deal at. He didn't have a realtor, so we had a deal at 400. So I didn't have to pay any buyer commission. So we had a deal at 400, just straight up, no closing costs or anything. That's the closest we've come to being under contract.
Okay. Yeah, because
I could probably swing that deal or something similar. I mean, the last time we were hard negotiating was back in January. So.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, if I could give this to the 500s and do 4. Do you know if he was getting a hard money loan? Is that what fell through, or was it a cash? Yeah.
No, he was. Yeah, he was. He was thin on. He had a couple other flips going on, and so he was kind of thin on cash, and so he thought he had something lined up, and like literally at the last minute, like we were just. Pretty much, it gave him all the time in the world to get all his costs figured out. He brought in his subs to figure out exactly where he was going to be. So, like, it was kind of like a 2-week process. We never put him under contract, but we just, he went through all the motions, and I just made sure he had access to the house. So
sure. Okay. Did he happen to get inspection on it?
He inspected the main systems of the house with his contractor, not like an actual home inspection.
Yeah,
okay. He had the furnace, the water heater, the roof, and then he was looking at there's a well that hasn't been used in probably 20 years, and so he was looking at the well.
Okay.
So I don't know if that has any value to you. Probably not if you're gonna flip it, but
yeah, I mean, depends. Like I do these a couple different ways. Like if I came in with hard money and like he was, I would need to probably feel more comfortable. It actually looks like a pretty solid house. But
I think the bones are great, dude. I don't see anything. And she's done all the hard stuff, right? So roof's, I think, 5-6 years old.
Like just hard money just costs so much that it's like for me to feel comfortable, $350, which she probably like. I hate. Yeah, I don't blame her. Like,
she's just a little background on her. So she's basically when the house sells, she's gonna retire, go buy an RV, and then just go hang out.
That's the life, dude. That's what I want to do.
So, like for her, she's like, I'm not budgeting until I get what I want because it's my retirement. So
yeah. So it is it vacant? Did she already move out, or she's still there?
She's basically sold all her stuff though. Like she's got an RV lined up that somebody's holding for her, and she basically sleeps on a blow-up mattress, and her only furniture is a lawn chair because she was trying to get rid of all her stuff. I mean, I told her from day one, I'm like, well, you're the market is really slow right now. So
yeah, it is kind of weird. Man, listening to her story, I feel like a little envious because I've got 3 kids and a wife, and I just feel like, man, it'd be nice to be able to just kind of do whatever I wanted. Well, the other way, I don't know. Is she willing to get creative on it at all?
No. Like I've had people talk to her about seller financing. I mean, if it was super short term, I mean, she might consider like, with a down payment so she can get her RV, and then, maybe something short term. I know we never discussed short term, but she was not interested at all in seller financing.
Yeah, because I mean, creative isn't just seller financing. We do it a bunch of different ways, but I'm thinking if I came in to flip it, or even a rental, this one looks like I would probably flip. But what's short term to her? Like 6 months, a year, 2 years? What?
I would say probably less than a year.
Okay.
Yeah,
because most hard money lenders
talk creative with her, just so you know. So I'm just guessing based on previous conversations.
Well, because what I'm thinking is like, I would love a year. Obviously, as the buyer, I'm going to want longer. She's going to want shorter. Yeah. I would love a year because most of my hard money lenders do 6 months. So just give me, I think we could get this thing done in 2 or 3 months. And then she most likely would be paid off sooner. But it just mitigates my risk if it's a little bit longer. But we could come in, give her a down payment. Do you know how much her RV is that she's wanting?
No, I'd have to discuss all that with her.
Okay.
I'd be happy to. Yeah, if you wanted to.
Yeah, because my thought is, if we did do creative, how much does she owe on? Does she have an underlying mortgage? That's the real. Okay. Do you know how much she owes on it still?
I want to say she owes like a little over 100.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay. Yeah. And then, do you know what the interest rate is on the underlying?
I don't, but I know it's cheap. So I know her payment total is like less than $1,000. Okay, so last time I tried to talk to her about seller financing, she shoved it down pretty quick. But
like, what was her hang up?
Just doesn't want to wait. Wants all the equity, just kind of, But again, I think, maybe if she's able to get her RV and she's has some kind of extra cash and maybe some cash coming in, we could look at it again.
Yeah. Well, that was my thought. Is like, if we give her enough cash to buy her RV, and then we sell her finance it out. Like if she's going to live somewhere or travel, I don't know what her plan is, but it's like, we could be giving her some cash each month to help her living costs, or she can put it in savings or do whatever. And then we're going to come in and not just, give her the money for the RV, but give her monthly payments. But we're also coming in and updating the house.
Yeah.
So it always makes sense in my mind, but it's getting your seller on board.
Well, I'm happy to go over it again. We haven't discussed seller financing in quite a while. She's just.
Do you think?
She's an older lady.
Yeah.
Like 7 ways. But
do you think she'd be open to hopping on a 3-way call and like the 3 of us chatting about it, just so she would feel more comfortable?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have to. If you were to throw something together, you would have to like write up an offer. But if you were just even give me the details of it, I'd have to go over to her house and explain it to her in person. And she's just, and I'm more than happy to do that. By the way, not a problem. But that's just kind of her comfort level. Not a mathematical savvy person. Mm-hmm. And her daughter would probably. Last time we did this, her daughter came over, and so we could all kind of discuss it together. So.
Okay. Yeah, because we send out LOIs just to give people a rough idea on what the offer would be, but it would be helpful if you kind of had an idea on what the down payment would be.
Sure.
And then I can structure, once I have that down payment, I can kind of structure everything else to make sure it works for her and for us. But even if you could figure out what she would accept as a monthly payment on it as we're renovating it, that would help us formulate an offer too.
Okay. Yeah,
So
no problem.
And then we'd make sure, obviously,
one thing, I get a ton of showings. It comes down to the same thing. People just they feel a little bit overwhelmed because it's you got paneling in the old rooms, and then the master edition is just straight pink.
Yeah.
So
well, and interest rates and everything that's going on in the economy, like it's not helping anything. We have more inventory on market than we've had in a really long time. So if it's not perfect, people will just go find something else.
Exactly.
And that's what I mean. I think the market when it was hot kind of screwed everyone up because they just thought, oh, I can put my house and list it for a lot and it'll just sell. But things have changed quite a bit since then.
And I'll tell you, I've had all my sellers that they don't budge.
Yeah.
They just won't budge. And it's been panning out for some of them. Eventually, I just had one that was listed in Ogden, and we just went under contract. So we were listed for 5 months.
Yeah.
I just kept telling everybody he'll take a reasonable offer, but for the most part, he's not gonna budge. And each one of my properties has kind of a unique thing. So the one in Ogden had a 4-car garage, super unique for the area. This one's got big lot, and so, but yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I can also tell you that with some of these with unique things, we're finally we've been getting a lot of movement lately. It seems like maybe the buyers are tired of, hoping that, I don't know. I'm finally getting buyers that actually want to go start looking again. So I'm pretty excited.
Well, I think the weather warming up always helps. People feel alive again out of the winter depression.
Yeah. What are we down? I think we're down to 6% now, right? On rates.
Yeah. So that's helping. Well, because maybe to get her on board too. Like on my last flip, I paid $60,000 in interest. So it's like if I could probably not put all that money in hers, right? But I'm trying to save on my side, and it would, I can put more money in her pocket. I could give her asking price, or we could even go like 10,000 above asking price, as long as everything else works out, because I'm willing to give that money to the homeowner instead of a hard money lender.
Okay.
And
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It helps the seller, but it also helps me a ton cut my costs on the flip side. So it's more of like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, no, I like that. So I'll tell you what, I'll give her she doesn't get off work until like 5-6 this evening. So
okay.
I'll have a conversation with her. You know what? I'm gonna have to have a conversation with her tomorrow because I'll be out tonight.
That's fine.
But we could catch up again tomorrow, or just whenever, and I'll lay the groundwork and see if I can get her to see what it would take to get her to consider seller financing.
Okay.
Optimally, how long? Like you said, you could do it in a year. Like, what are you really looking for, though? Are you looking for a couple years seller financing, or what?
The longer, the better. But like ideally, like if we could come to 1 year, that would be fantastic. And just because you never know what the market's going to do. It gives us flexibility. Like if we, for some reason, need to refinance and just keep it, it gives us more time to do that. But yeah, it's like, you understand the market, and it's kind of like, where are we going to go by the end of this year? Where are rates actually going to drop? Nobody knows.
Dude, I know.
So
I think everybody thought, new administration coming in, they're all thinking, well, last time he was president, we had 2% interest rates.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1% interest rate. Let's go.
So far, no.
So I get it. She wants her money. I would too if I was her. But we're gonna be making monthly payments to her, and hopefully that will help. And then also she's getting the money up front where she can go buy that RV. That the hardest time we have with deals like this is most people are trying to get into another house, and so it doesn't work. But it sounds like with her situation, this would actually be really perfect, especially just because how long it's been sitting, and I'm sure she's getting tired. You're getting, you want it sold so you can move on to another deal. So
Well, I'm tired. I'm wondering, when is she going to get tired?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to have the conversation. I mean, I think where you're going, I'm like, well, there's a lot in there that maybe we can work with. So
yeah. And we have, like, if she's worried about anything, like, let's just say I get abducted by aliens and totally disappear, right? We've got an attorney that if she's worried about us defaulting, like, we'll have everything where she's protected. So she would get the house back. She'd keep the down payment. She'd keep all the payments up till then. If we've renovated any part of it, she would have the renovations in there. So we want to make sure she's protected too, because I know a lot of the times sellers are worried about that and they just want to be done with the house. But it's like, if we can just give you a monthly check every month, and it's almost like being a landlord without any of the headache, then why not?
Yeah, nope, I agree with that. Cool, man. Yeah, I'll give her a call tomorrow. And what was your Jordan, right?
Jordan, yeah, I can text you over my name.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. And then I'll get back with you. Hopefully I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, if you could just figure out like a rough down payment and what she might accept as monthly payments, that would help us a ton in creating an offer.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Okay, man, I appreciate it.
Okay. Yep, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Yep, bye-bye. Bro, that might be one. You're muted. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's like a perfect situation. Yeah. She only owes 100,000, dude. So this one would be perfect for that Morby method of a DSCR underneath, or just a DSCR to pay off her mortgage, and then give her down payment. I can't expect a one. Yeah, it could be. I'm just thinking 10% on that, which would be like 40,000. Bro, you could wholesale that all day long, especially to. Well, and I think, dude, agents, I've had listings not like this, but like my Mill Creek one, it's over 100 days, and it's just like, dude, I just want to sell this so I don't have to keep taking calls about it and wasting my time. He wants to get paid, and if she agrees to sell or finance, like, why not pay $450 for the house if we get the terms that we want? So yeah, that was an awesome one. I'm gonna throw this in the CRM. So if you dude, this one came, dude, it was yesterday after we were done making calls. I'm like, I'm just gonna look for a few to set up for tomorrow. Yeah, I think I just found it on Zillow by doing newest and going to the very last page. And that's a good one. Even if that one doesn't pan out, he's open to it enough. He understands the idea of it all. He might be one that actually would bring us a deal down the road on something that he finds. I would almost mark that one as hot. Less. Huh? Yes, you are. Sweet. Yeah, because they're close to the freeway. Yeah. How long's it been on market? All right. If they've done a price cut, there's a little bit of motivation there, at least. Well, when I was talking to him about the flipping and stuff, I knew I was going to transition into seller finance, but I was building it up here's how much it's going to cost me to go get hard money. This deal doesn't make sense for me or any other flipper to come in. That's why your other deal fell through. Yeah, and so I was leaning into that and really trying to build up the pain of it. Like, look, you guys aren't going to sell this. He probably already knows that, but just to reiterate it and help him understand, know like I know what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm willing to do, and this is how the deal would work. Um, and even me talking about stuff on market and how we have the most inventory ever. Like he knows that, and it's but it might give him a little bit more confidence when he goes back to a seller and present it and like, look, this you should do this. Like this is good. You're gonna get what you want. She wants an RV. So like as soon as she said that, I'm like, oh, that there's the motivation for her. She wants to get into an RV. So if I can make that happen and give her monthly payments, why would she not do that? If she's out traveling around and doesn't have a ton of money, why would she not like monthly payments and not have to be a landlord? Uh, so it's like that one was almost a perfect situation. Like I said on the phone call, like this sometimes doesn't work because people are wanting to get into a new home. There's ways we can make that work too, but it's like she just wanted to live out of an RV. That's way less than a house. And even if she finances the RV, then I can make her monthly RV payments. So it's like, what if we come in at $10,000 down, and we'll make her monthly RV payment. So we'll see where it goes. She sounds really freaking old, like he has to go meet her every time. So those older people are hard to deal with. They think traditionally, so that would probably be the biggest hang up on it. But maybe I could work a deal where it's like, hey, can I come with you to her house? And if I, but that's going to take like 3, 4, 5 follow ups before he trusts me enough and we've built a relationship where he feels comfortable bringing me to her house, especially if she's more closed off. So it's like these deals just don't form out of thin air. Like it's very rare you just get one on the first call. It happens, but that's why these 7 touches in the CRM are so important, especially on like a really hot lead. I wouldn't even call it hot. It's just like a perfect situation lead. I marked it in there as hot just to keep my attention on it. But anyways, I could talk forever about it. So I got to go to the bathroom real quick. We got one viewer in here. Let's go. Probably Braylon. leave a comment in the chat so I know who you are. We always think it's our one other team member that pops in. It probably is. Yeah.
Can you play basketball on the trail with me?
When I'm done working there, well. Okay. Say hi. Say hi to everyone up there.
Hi. Good.
Good's going on? Good when good's going on. Did you already call him? Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me? Go upstairs, please. And shut. Shut my door, bud. Dude, you speak Spanish? You're on another level. You got so much more of an advantage than me. Yes. Especially if you do a flip house and you got all your contractors speaking Spanish. My wife speaks Spanish. She served her mission in Honduras. And I always tell her, I'm like, you need to speak Spanish more. And especially with our kids so they can learn it and I can pick up on it. Honduras, yeah. Dude, she taught Spanish at Farmington Junior High. And then she taught art after that. But mm-hmm. I wish I knew more Spanish. It's serious. It really is. Dude, that's why where I always want her to speak is like we'll go to a Mexican restaurant and order. I'm like, come on, just speak Spanish. Like I just want to see them light up a little bit. And she's like, no, it's rude. They don't like that when you speak Spanish. They think that they think you think that they can't speak English. I'm like, no, they don't. Like, yeah, I need to get my wife on board for that. Yeah. Okay, my turn. Here we go, baby. Can you still see my screen on the Google? Can you see my screen on the Google Meet? Here, let me share it on there so you know what I'm. Let me share. Which one is it? Entire screen. This one. Share. so you know which one I'm calling on and looking at. Because I thought you were looking at that other one that I called on, but you probably didn't see anything. Winner.
Hello, this is Lucas.
Lucas, I think I got the wrong number. I'm looking for Courtney Anderson.
Oh, I can give you her cell phone.
Okay, I called 435-864-4700. Is that not it?
That is the office, and I've got the office for it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me find it here. You think I'd have it memorized, but it's just a name in my phone.
You could just text it to me if that's easier.
Oh, I've got it.
Okay.
435-749-9444.
Okay, appreciate it. I'll give her a call.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Courtney.
Hey, Courtney, it's Jordan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Good. I just came across your listing there on Center Street.
Okay, in Hinckley?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. What can I tell you about it?
Yeah, well, I see it's been listed a while. Have you guys had a lot of showings and feedback on it?
Yeah, so not really, because we listed right before the holidays, so things were busy. You know, nothing was getting many showings, but really we have not. We had an open house that was like well attended. Everyone that walked through it was like, wow, this house is a lot bigger than it looks on the outside. You know, they had really good feedback, but they have some renters in it now, just on a month-to-month basis. But
okay.
Yeah, so it's a good one. I would say the worst part about it is like it doesn't have a garage, and I feel like maybe that's one hold up to people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at picking up a house in the area as a rental. Do you know how long's the lease for?
So where it was listed, they were really, they just kind of found the right renters that would be willing to do a month-to-month lease.
Oh, sweet.
So they're only in on a month-to-month basis. They're, I don't think they'll care if I tell you. They're just there while they build their house.
Gotcha. So they're not wanting to stay long-term?
No, they wouldn't.
Okay. What are they paying month-to-month? Do you know?
Let me pull that up really quick.
Okay.
They had renters in it prior because they didn't list it with me, but I helped them buy another house. So they were, and then they decided not, like, oh, we don't really want to have renters. So
yeah. Well, on Zillow, I know it can be wrong. The rent estimate is $2,400, but that kind of seems high in that area.
Yeah, so I think they're either $2,000 or $2,200. They were higher at one point, but it was a company that had it rented, and so they had a few more people in it than I think there were like 6 or like 8 guys they were wanting to put in it, and so it was a little bit higher. So I know it's 2,000 or over. Let me message her. I didn't really do anything with their lease.
Okay. Well, because I'm kind of trying to figure out if it's a better one to just buy and hold or get in there and renovate like the kitchen a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
It looks like they put in new floors.
Mm-hmm.
Has it always been a rental for them, or?
No, it was their primary residence up until I think the fall of 2023 is when they bought the house, and so but it was their primary residence.
Okay. Is that the swamp cooler in that main right when you walk in?
On the ceiling.
On the ceiling, yeah.
So that is a mini split system.
Oh, okay.
And then in the kitchen, there is a swamp cooler that hangs from the back. So the exterior pictures in the back, you can see the swamp cooler that hangs right there. And they don't even use it. The mini split system was enough to cool their house. But they just never took it out. So I feel like that'll open up that kitchen for some more options.
Because the swamp cooler is on the side of the house and it comes in through the kitchen, like over by the dishwasher, kind of, right?
So it's on the back of the house and it comes in. Yes, the dishwasher's there and the fridge is kind of pushed into that cubby. So that's the back of the home.
And then it's got solar too. Is that paid off?
It will be at closing.
Okay. Huh. So no, there's no HVAC just because it's got the heating with the floorboard heating, and then
the mini split that is heating and cooling.
Okay.
So they have the mini splits in all but I think 2 rooms have the unit, but then there is baseboard heating. They didn't have to use that. The mini split system was enough for them.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you had to use it, you're solar. So
yeah.
I mean,
how long have they had the solar? Do you know?
So I think I couldn't tell you a date for sure. I don't think they had it for very long before they bought this other house, though.
Okay.
But we can. I mean, if you get serious, then we can get you dates on that for sure.
So what's their situation? They've already built a new house and moved in?
They're in a new home. They didn't build, but yeah, so they could sell or rent. It's, that's kind of their situation. They can keep renting it, which things were just kind of slow. And so I'm like, you know what, let's put a renter in there just in case. And they found a great one to go month to month. And so, they're in their house and they're good there. And then they would like to sell this, but then they can also just rent it as well.
Okay. Yeah, it's super interesting. Do you know if they would be open, like if I gave them a down payment and just took over their debt on it?
No, I've talked to them about like seller financing on that. But they're not really, with their loans and solar, I'm not sure that could. I guess you're going to have to give me more terms before I present that to them and say we have talked about seller financing. They're not open for that. But if you're talking about something different than seller financing with like an assumption, I don't think their mortgage is assumable.
Well, creative can be a bunch of different things. We have a bunch of different strategies depending on what they're needing. I just wanted to see if they might be open to it. Do you know, I'm assuming you had a seller finance option before and they didn't like it, or?
People have reached out asking if seller financing was an option, and it is not something they're really open to. I would say, like, with those situations, they were more like a traditional, like, we'll give you a down payment and you carry the loan. So if it's something different than that, then I would say run it by me and, I'll talk to them about it. I don't want to be the one that's like telling them no when they haven't even heard. I'm not that agent. And so, but just so you know, in the past, like, someone has asked about seller financing.
Okay. Well, like I'm open to making it work depending on, I know every seller has a different situation or a different concern. And so I do this a lot where I'm really good at structuring a deal to make sure they feel comfortable, but it also works for me. So it's a win-win. And obviously I'd want you to get paid too. So I'm not like trying to boot you out of the deal or anything. But I guess the biggest thing before like throwing out a structure and idea is like, do you know when you presented seller offering, like or seller financing, what was their reason for not being interested, or they just said no?
It was a pretty straight no.
Because they just
pretty quick no. And like I said, I'm with you. There are ways that I feel like I don't want to say that they could possibly say yes because I really don't know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, I don't know. I would say the best thing to do would be just bring us what you have, what's ideal for you, and then I can talk to them and approach them and see if there's any way they, if that's an all-out no, see if there's anything we could do.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Do you know? Well, because there's different ways, but do you know if they owe anything on the house anymore?
So yeah, they do, and that's one of the big reasons that they wouldn't want to do seller financing.
Okay, because a lot of the time, what we can do, depending on how much they owe and if it works, we could get a DSCR loan, which would go off the rental rates and pay off that underlying mortgage, and then we can seller finance their equity. It's going to depend on how much they owe, what their interest rate is, what their monthly payment is, all of that. Do you know anything on how much they owe on the underlying and what their interest rate might be?
So I do, but I don't have permission to disclose. So
Okay.
I would definitely have to, talk to them before I disclose any of that.
What about like a monthly payment?
Yeah, I don't want to disclose anything like that specific without asking them if I can do that.
Okay. Because that's like a lot of people, right? They want a lot of money up front, and sometimes people, depending on the situation, are okay with a down payment and then we make payments to them. Or if your seller's wanting a bigger down payment, or let's just say they want the underlying loan paid off, we can do that too.
Yeah.
But it's all going to come down to what the house appraises for. If a DSCR loan will appraise at 80% of the appraisal or the purchase price.
I'm not worried about the appraisal. There's plenty of comps on that one.
Okay.
And then rental rates in our area. You said your name was Jordan. I'm trying to decide if I've talked to you before or not.
I talk to a lot of people, so maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't think I had. Anyway, I was just trying to decide if you knew our area very well.
I'm not as familiar with Hinckley. I'm in South Ogden area.
Okay. Yeah. So have you heard about our rents?
No.
Lately, what's happening here?
No, what's going on?
So we have a coal-fired power plant just to the north of Delta. It's where a lot of people work, but right now, since they're owned by California, they can't be powered by coal power anymore. And that deadline, I think, was as of 2025. California can't purchase coal power anymore because it's too dirty for them.
Oh, so a lot of jobs are.
They are converting that to natural gas with a hydrogen plant in the works because natural gas wasn't quite clean enough for them either. And so so this is all happening because of California legislation.
Oh my gosh.
So we have thousands of, I don't want to say thousands, but definitely over 1,000 extra workers in town. And that's not the only project, but that is the biggest project. And I mean, if you leave here at the time that the plant is in shift change, even headed to Nephi, there's at least 2 tour buses that bus people in. They get on a bus in Santaquin and ride here every day. So 2 buses full, and then just a stream of cars. Plus the county has made it so that you can put RVs on your property, just in the county, not in the cities, and put an RV spot on it so that you can rent out RV spots. So those are renting for $750 plus a month.
So there's a lot of demand for people then.
Yes, yeah. Well, and we already had a rental shortage prior to this. So I mean, it stinks for the locals, right? The people that just live here and rent.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're looking at $1,000 to $1,200 a bedroom, if you want to rent out by the room.
Yeah, I do that too. So I didn't know that that's what was happening down there. So that would help.
Yeah, it's wild. Now I don't know how long. Like there's we hear of projected end dates, but then like I just sold a house to a guy that's working there that says, oh no, I'm here until 2029. And so like we have no idea how long that will last.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that they would still need workers or they need workers to build the plant, right?
Yes, that's what the influx is. So not only that, IPP itself, well, IPSC is what it's called. They put in, don't quote me on this number, but like 600 RV spots.
Holy cow.
I don't know if all 600 are like done because the company came in and started it and then they didn't, you know what I mean? Didn't finish. And then and it's all done in phases, right? So
yeah, I
know for sure there were like 300 to 400 that were built, but they were supposed to be there's a laundromat out there on site. It's a big project.
Do you guys have an RV park out there?
We do. Yeah, there's an RV park. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going in right now. Like on Main Street, they're building another one.
Yeah.
Kind of on the outskirts of Delta. So yes, plus the RV park is full. Plus, if you just drive around on the outside, like you'll see some alfalfa fields and some brush ground and then 2 RV spots. Like, that's how it is.
We're going to stay here for now. So that's crazy that they're busing them from Santa Quin because that's quite a ways.
Right, but if you are having to pay $2,000, so a lot of people, and this is how I explain it to some of the locals who are like, oh my gosh, they're just taking advantage of these people. They're meaning like landlords or homeowners are just taking advantage of these people by asking so much for rent. But for them,
they got to bust all those people in.
The people renting, we have a hotel right next to our brokerage, and we get people that walk in and they're like, listen, I'm paying $3,000 a month to live in this hotel, which is not a nice hotel. Like, this is the kind of hotel that like fantasy football leagues, like you're the loser, you have to stay at the Delton Inn, okay? That gives you
That's funny.
an idea. So they're like $3,000 a month to stay there. So a house for $2,500 a month, we'll take it.
Wow. So do you live in Delta or Hinckley?
Yeah, I'm in Delta, but Hinckley's like 10 minutes down the road.
Yeah, okay.
So I cover like all of Millard County really, but I really like focus on and know all of West Millard.
Okay. That is insane. So, okay, that helps me actually a ton to know what I would want to do with this. Well, I would love to try and work a deal. I know you're probably wanting to sell this thing too. A lot of the time what happens, especially with people that are just like not open to getting creative, I've been able to hop on with, let's say, like you and them and just have an open conversation. I don't know. Yeah. Some people are closed off. Some people are open to it. I don't want you to feel like I'm stepping on your toes, but if
I am not worried, I'm not that agent either.
Okay. So maybe that in my mind, that might be the easiest way to try and get a deal done, just because there's so many different there's so many different methods that I could try to use, but I really need to have them, one, trust me, the buyer, that if we're going to do this, they're not going to have to worry about anything, but also just what they're needing and wanting. And it's so hard to try and relay it to you, and then you relay it to them, and then back to me. And so it just saves time. So if you're open to it, I'd love to set up a 3-way call. Maybe you just say, hey, there's an investor.
I can talk to them and I'll ask them. Like, my thing is, we'll do it if they're open to it.
Yeah.
If they're like, ooh, it doesn't, like, I'm not into it, then that's when I'm going to come back and tell you no.
Yeah. And I would maybe just frame it just, hey, this is an investor, a local guy in Utah. He does a lot of stuff creatively. It's not necessarily seller finance. I mean, it would be in a sense, but not straight seller finance. Like most of these people calling you, they just do seller finance or nothing, like 100%. So, yeah, I can get creative with them and try and get them what they want. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I will chat with them and get back to you. I know they're both at work today.
Okay.
And, you know, so they wouldn't be able to jump on until the evening, but I will get in touch with them and just see if they're open to it. Okay.
Yeah. And maybe this doesn't work. But if I know you're local there, is there anything else that you have like this that someone else might be interested that I could take a look at?
So how much fixing would you be open to? So kind of where our market is like, if it's 300,000 and above, no, that's probably not accurate. There's a manufactured home at 269.
I like manufactured homes. I think they're built better sometimes.
Yeah. So it's new. It's like a 2023, 22, maybe 21. My clients put it in. I sold it to them. This guy that bought it is selling it now. So it's 269. I'm not the agent on that one. A guy named Renee from up north is. That one's a good one. That's a good one to buy. There's a brick home that actually isn't a terrible buy either. It has renters in it right now. They bought high, I think, which is kind of where they're at. It was built in 85. There's not a lot of yard. Like, it's a big yard, half an acre, but a lot of work needs to be done. Yeah. And I don't know if you know, like, the general tone of buyers right now, buyers who are ready to just buy a, traditional mortgage and walk in and buy. They're not really willing to do a lot of work. Yeah. So if I'm paying X amount, I don't want to have to do XXX. So for that house, it has an unfinished basement, but it's framed. But they went in and put like has a new AC unit. I think the kitchen would need some help. But other than that, I'll send you links on these. Okay. It doesn't benefit me at all because I'm not the listing agent on them. But other than those two houses, if you just want to move into this house, it's over 300,000 for our area. Okay. So, yeah, we've done complete gut jobs. It might be a little harder just because that's further away. Sure. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. We could send a crew and just say live in the house while you renovate. Or hire these people from Santa Quinn. Well, yeah, they don't have any time to. Yeah, they don't have any time to work. That's the thing is, I tell my sellers if they get these people that approach them about renting their houses, I'm like, do it.
They're never in the house. They just come sleep and shower.
In the house. They set up air mattresses.
Wow.
They stay in their bedrooms. They I'm like, hire a cleaner to come in once a week at their expense. And put them in there. Yeah. Put them in there.
Especially if you can rent it by the room. That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You kind of have to have enough bathrooms. Like, they do prefer 3 bathrooms if you're going to do something like that. Yeah. And that's one downside about the Hinckley house is it just has the 2. But
we'll get a porta potty for Outback.
Yeah, they would use it. So there is another one. And it's kind of a wreck, the house. They're asking $200,000 for it. I think it's a 2-bed, 1-bath. But its area is intriguing. It's on 4000 West, which is like the road between Highway 50 and the little town of Deseret, which doesn't actually have a store, so it's hardly a town. But it is on a water system called Deseret Oasis Water, which is closed. Like right now, they're on a moratorium. And so anyone that's wanting to build and get on that water system is not able to. And so that's kind of a benefit of that house. It's on 5 acres and has a connection. But the problem is they're asking $200,000 for it. So
yeah.
I mean, I think that you would have some equity, and I think you'd also have to go in and.
Well, a lot of the time, like we're okay paying, like even if it's above market, we're okay paying if someone's willing to get creative with us. We can usually make deals work. So like, we're not opposed to paying 30, 40, 50,000 over if all the other numbers check out on it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That one might be one for you to look at, because I know like that one's been on the market for a long time.
Okay.
I heard that they had renters in it, and then like that were seller financing, but then they were kicked out. I don't know how truthful that is. Just someone that lives in the area told me that.
Okay.
The agent on that one is, I think her name's like Samantha or something. I could be wrong.
Well, you sound very knowledgeable and like the area, so let's keep in touch, because I think whether this one works or not, I think we could get something done.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just let me know what the conversation goes like on this one.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, sweet. I appreciate you telling me all that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I hope. I'm like, I think I might have just flooded him with
No.
that they needed to know. But I feel like any investor coming into our area, one needs to know, like,
yes,
there's a really good opportunity here right now. It also might not last it's not going to last forever. And so I feel like they need to know that equally.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't, though, it's like if you get an influx of cash up front that you weren't expecting, that's always appealing.
Right.
So, okay.
Also, I do think you could turn that blue one into a duplex.
With a basement?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Is there a kitchen already down there, or just plumbing for it?
There's not. You'd have to still do plumbing and stuff for it. But there's like a good option you could make that side door upstairs.
Yeah.
The entrance, and just put up 2 walls.
Yeah.
And then, anyway. So I didn't
think about that. Okay. Yeah, let's keep in touch, and I enjoyed talking to you. That was fun.
Yeah. Good.
So,
good deal. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Jordan.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah.
Bye. That, my friends, is exactly the type of realtor you want to talk to and build a relationship with. She gave me so much info that if this deal works or doesn't work, that is such a good one. Such a great call. I spent, let's see how long that call was. 26 minutes. Okay. So a lot of these people calling and offering seller finance, they're just saying, hey, is your seller open to seller finance? No. Okay, bye. And it's like, that's not this game. It's not just cold call, dial, hang up. It is build the relationship. And I know that her sellers say they're not open, but if I can get them on a 3-way call, that's going to change it. And I can explain the different options we have. And let's just say we go down the DSCR route. Hey, we will pay off your underlying loan. This will be better for you. You're going to get a ton of money up front. If I run the numbers and it doesn't make sense, I've already spent all that time and built that relationship with like, hey, this doesn't work, but we could do a down payment and still do seller finance or hybrid or whatever. Then I've already spent that time building the relationship with the realtor, the owners, and that might be what opens them up to saying yes to seller finance, because now they know me and my processes, or they know me and my strategies and kind of who I am more as a person, what I'm going to do with the property, and that would build trust for them to wanting to pull the trigger on the deal. So I am putting this one in the CRM. That was a great one. And I'm going to go eat lunch after this. So I'm going to end the live stream for you guys, since I'm just going to be typing here. And thanks for tuning in. We haven't made quite 10 calls today, but I think 2 really good calls back to back make up for needing to make 10 calls every single day. That shows you how powerful it is just to make that many calls. You know, it could be 2 calls really good, or you could go a full day with 15 calls and nobody answers. But we're trying to stay consistent of the theme of making those calls, because eventually the numbers are going to shake out. So thanks for watching. I could blabber on forever. See ya.